do some testing of this, get some measurements, figure out to what extent we can scale back. And I mean, definitely the next paper that I'm writing will address issues like this, like can we scale back the processor and to what extent. So,
what about legal issues? I could imagine that here. That there will be laws against those RFID blockers pretty soon, and I imagine you can detect them really easy with a scanner.
Right. Well, this is sort of why we wanted to make our jamming really, really selective. I mean, jamming devices in general are illegal, you're right. But this is sort of why we want to draw the line between jamming tags that belong to you and jamming tags that belong to other people.
Yeah, but what I heard is the idea is to use them like in a grocery store for when you buy your stuff, you put it in a shopping cart and you just walk to the counter and pay there without taking all your stuff out of the shopping cart. So before you put it in the shopping cart, you scan your wearer's ID tag, put it in the cart, put your blocker next to it, and just walk with a full cart through the scanner.
Yes. You're right, you could do this. What we're building is a dual-use technology. It can be used just as much as an attack tool as it can be used a defense tool. But the point is that if you want to steal something from a grocery store, you can also put it in a booster bag. You can also put it in a foil-lined bag, and that should also be enough to get past the security. So there's way more low-tech ways of stealing from the store if that's really what you want to do. So, yes.
What about injecting code or data using RFID? Is there any proof of concept available for it?
Injecting code?
Yes, injecting, for example, suppose that the reader sends the code to a database backend, and we could inject, for example, SQL.
Right, sure. Yeah, this was the RFID malware that I was mentioning earlier. Yes, you could also use the RFID Guardian as a hacker, as a black hat. You could also use it as an attack tool to send buffer overflows, to send code injection attacks, to send whatever. And of course, because it's just an emulator, there's no limitations, really, I mean, to what you can send via the RFID channel. But the point is, though, I mean, you can also use tags to do this. I mean, if you really do want to send attacks. So I kind of view this a little bit like a pen testing tool. I mean, the point is, it can be abused, but it can also be used for good things. I mean, it's the same thing if you have a hammer. You can use a hammer to hit a nail, or you can use the hammer to go after your neighbor's ferret or something. So, but the point is, you need. Look, I mean, we can't dictate the way that people are going to use what we're creating, but the fact of the matter is that the RFID world, including the deployers, need to come to terms with the fact that a device like this can, and at least for now in the laboratory does, exist, and they really need to design their systems appropriately. So, any other questions?
Well, I've got a question about the kill command. Do they use some sort of shared key, or does every tag has its own key?
Every tag will probably have its own key. Another thing that would be useful also is if occasionally you can reset the keys or change the keys. That's also just usual good security procedure.
So you can't broadcast kill all tags?
Excuse me?
So you can't do a broadcast which say kill all tags?
No, that would be a pretty poorly designed RFID tag if you allowed that, yeah.
Excuse me, is it possible to simply destroy the tags with a microwave? As you mentioned before, there are nowadays the not protected RFID tags.
Yes. Generally, yes, you can still protect them with you can still destroy them using a microwave. I mean, I mentioned earlier that they were designing like anti-microwave RFID tags, but they did admit that you can still kill them with a hammer. So maybe next time they're going to make anti-hammer RFID tags. I don't know. So, any other questions?
Maybe you destroy the goods then too.
Yeah, people are creative. They'll come up with ways, I'm sure. So. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, thank you very much.